12 a.m, which is really quite top of the morning, really. What I'll be doing, if I be forgetting my jacket, so I'll be off getting that. You go and look at the opals whilst we're doing that. What a pretty opal to look at whilst I'm getting a jacket. I'm wondering, can I even get it to hold still? I think I can be. There we go. There we go. Oh, what a lovely thing. There you go. It always be something or other, doesn't it? I don't know why I did the Irish today. Because I know I can't maintain the accent. I'm suddenly going Welsh. It's not magic, you know. Right. So I've got my jacket. Now, if you're across the pond, you're going, why do you need a jacket? It's because I'm Australian. We're all upside down. That's what we are. We're upside down. We're Australian. I'm stringing. What? Okay. I start the stream, and then my daughter goes, can you get the bag out of the car?
Okay, don't worry about it.
I'll get it in a minute, okay? I'll get it in about an hour, really. Oh, dear. Oh, hello, and thank you for the like. Is that the Opal guy by any chance? There we go. Yep, there's a lot of mess around today. It's been a big day. Jacket on. There we go. Now I'll give you some analysis here. Did a deep dive into this particular opal. I thought it was potentially a crinoid or possibly a sea urchin or something like that. But let's have a quick look at it and we'll see what we can find out about it. So this is a fossil, but what we can see here is that these pieces, they run parallel like that. More importantly, there's a feature here that is very important and it's very hard to spot, and you wouldn't know about it unless you've been eyebrow deep in fossils at one point or other in your life. You can see right in the middle of that fossil there is a little lump that kind of looks like a star-shaped structure. That's really important. Look over here, we can see a similar thing just there. What that's telling me is that is a root. But over here, we kind of have a different kind of set of realities going on here. We sort of see the same structure, but it's a little bit more symmetrical. And that is actually a stem. So we've actually got root, stem of a plant. And what's more, we can actually see the water transport system there. You can literally see the xylem and the phloem, which is arranged in radial patterns around. So you're actually seeing cambium here. So this entire thing is not a crinoid. It's not a sea urchin. It's actually a giant chunk of wood. And we have decoded it. Aren't we clever? So at any rate, that is not going to get cut up because that is structured. You can see it like that, can't you? You can see that radial stem coming out. That's most certainly a dicot. So at any rate, and this is the cool thing about it, once you start understanding it, you can decode what the scientific mumbo jumbo happens to be. Quite easy. All you have to do is collect like 100,000 Soptris fossils and be really annoyed. Anywho, these are opals. That is opal. That's a Coke. That's not a Coke. This is my drink. Out I go. Oh, that's a bird. Hello, Loki. See? I'm not lying. Hello, Max. And Max, what have you done? Hello. Ooh. All right, you've earned a scratch. go straight to like a 15 on the cute-ometer. Oh, Max, what? You want to scratch too? You're going to like freaking bite my hand off. Let's see what happens. Sketchy boo. Sketchy boo. There we go. There we go. Oh, sorry. You missed the magical moment where we connected. Sorry about that. There we go. Just getting a few pins. We'll do that later, Max. We'll do a proper pin feather search. We'll also make sure that you've got your food and water sorted out because your water's a bit low. Don't quite need to do the cage yet because it's quite deep. So the foulness can sink to the bottom. Right. Speaking of foulness sinking to the bottom, did I leave these valves open? No, I didn't. Good. Okay, so what I've done here is I've revamped the situation. I've revamped the opals, and I've also dopped an opal here so we can see and test it. What we've got is a rig here that was not delivering water particularly efficiently. So what I did was I had a look at the system, and the exact problem was these little things here. They're modified. They're essentially from drips in medical equipment. So these are the valve clamps you find in a drip. And so in order to get it to work, you open the valve. Sorry about this. I'm just holding the block and the camera at the same time. It's hard to do. There we go. Open valve. Now, the problem is, if you have a look, even though I've opened the valve, you can see that the plastic is still clamped. So it's well on its way out. So what you've got to do is you kind of got to jiggle it a bit to get yourself water that works. But it will work eventually, sort of. Same deal with this one. So we'll open the clamps up, and then we'll carefully hold the mechanism here. I'll find a more secure way of holding the mechanism, probably like that. It's literally the orientation of this determines whether it drips or not. And then once we've done that, we can just put this on, like so. I'll give it a bit of a wipe so that you can see. So let's give it a go. Let's see if this here doohickey apparatus works, huh? Leave that there. Zooming out. Zooming out. Right. Zooming out again. There we go. It looks like the water's happening. So let's give it a test. Zhoosh. Alright, place your bets now. How long is this freshly dopped opal going to survive? Usually the first dop is pretty bad. I'm hoping it won't come off, but if you dop an opal then go on the live stream, you're just asking fate to give you a roundhouse kick to the head. Sorry about that. What else we can do is this, because it's actually quite young in its development, this young opal here. In 1 second or so, quickly recharge the water. I noticed that even though I've done a whole lot to fix up the water situation, it's still not quite right. I tried to hydraulically connect them today and something went wrong. I think just basically all of the tubes that I've got are a little bit old, and they need to be replaced. And I'm fresh out of drips. Because we're in Australia. And our politicians aren't quite drips that the American ones are. So, here we go. They're not far off, by the way, so don't think I'm being snobby. I think the major difference is that, like, we don't have to manage foreign affairs. So what I can do now, Celine Dion mode activated. One thing you'll notice about this technique is these opals, they get mighty small, mighty fast. At risk of making myself sing the song, it really is very much like that Eminem. You've got one shot, do not miss a chance to top. Of course, there might be a few minor changes that you'd have to do to, sing it in Eminem's context, but I'm pretty certain that the music was originally about opal cutting. So, deal with it. And I couldn't help but notice, my dear Opal, now the opal's high on one side. Now it's on a dop stick. I don't have the option of cutting the reverse side, which is what I usually do. Uh-oh. Did you see that? Let's zoom in and see if we've caused damage. I think we're alright, but that's not good. Crack. Anyway, that's the sign to stop mucking around on that platform and move to another one. So I'll quickly finish this guy off. It won't be all done today, but we can do some of it. We'll probably do this bit here. Now I've got the Eminem song in my head. It's official. Dagnammit. Never mind. There's a couple of microseconds under heavy load, should help with everything else. Now I'm one of the weirdos who actually doesn't break in the sandpaper. What I do instead is I soften the pad. If you have a look behind, there's actually a huge amount of padding underneath there. So I've literally made the it's almost like the desk stand is a different beastie to what it was when I bought it. As far as the wisdom of my strategy is concerned, I'm sacrificing potential breakage for faster processing time. Is it a good decision? Do not know. What I do know is that on aggregate I do okay. The issue you get is that when opal cutters get really skilled, I'm not suggesting I'm skilled, I'm talking about the general sample out there. When opal cutters get quite skilled, realistically the habits that they do define some parts of the opal they cut, but not all of it. So sometimes these principles get harder and harder to work out if they're effective or not, because the culture of the person who's cutting. So that's a long-winded and complicated way of saying good luck figuring that one out. Four likes already, thank you guys. Right, let's see. In opal, stillness is death. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to make sure that I'm biasing the opal correctly, because this side has got a little bit extra, or it's got a bit lower slope. So the center is, the height is not right on the center of it. So I'm trying to just correct for that. There's several ways you can do that. Of course, is you can shave off the short side, and you can shave off the high side. So they're in opposite areas, so do a combination of both. Why don't we do both? Da, 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 da. There we go. Should be a lot better. So now we go adopt the handwriting style and start scribbling circles. What we're doing there is we're ascribing a we're ascribing a kind of a dome shape to it by doing that. Now there is definitely a skill aspect to opal cutting, but don't let it be said that that's all there is to it. Basically there is grinding logic, what I'd call it. And that's not the logic of if you download the grinder app, you find the nearest male or female or person of same gender. It's more along the lines of, if you grind an opal the correct way, i.e. repetitive movements, that are responding to the contours of the opal, you actually get a better result. But at the moment I'm doing is I'm literally biasing my movements to correspond with the fact that this side is a little bit too high that way and this side is not. And you most certainly can tell when you're starting to stroke that balance because it starts to spin better. Alright, moving over to this side. Higher speed, higher grit. We'll move this down so you can see even. Oh, access all areas, look at that. Brilliant. Now we can go like that. So I'm just turning on the water. There we go. Also got to change your angle of attack, but at the moment I'm just worried about shaping the opal. I can see some scars and scabs and pits and stuff that I'm not happy with, so I'm more worried about what those are than with the actual grain of the surface, so to speak. But having said that, the more I do this, the harder it gets to correct. Yeah, don't hit sandpaper with your knuckles, it's a bad idea. That is one of the weaknesses of this particular design I made, and I'm aware of it. May have to redesign the whole thing completely. But at the moment, I haven't really, you know, done any major issues. I've just annoyed myself rather than hurt myself. But when you're designing for safety, that's a really bad philosophy to have. Oh, it's not only annoyed me. That's just asking for it. You're asking the gods of fate to just take you out. So yes, I should get onto that. I should figure out a better way to deal with it. Whoa! I have noted the position of this pillar in front of the opal as well. It's not exactly the most optimal position. It does that from time to time. Not only does that hurt the opal, but it wears out the paper. Right. I think we've got a good demonstration of what can go wrong. Let's have a look and see if that did any permanent damage. Sorry if that resulted in jump scares. What I can do is I can zoom in now. Can I? What I'll do is I'll do it this way. I will get a better system eventually. I didn't want to show you a lumpy opal. I'm trying to find the sweet spot here. Hang on. There we go. Zoom in now. See that? So there's your play of colour. I'm going to zoom right in and see if that really helps. Really nice effect, that. One of the other things to make a note of, because I've got machinery that I've made myself and I use myself, I have different problems to other opal cutters. Other opal cutters, they tend to score their opals with the ghost of previous grits. I don't have to worry too much about that, although that does happen. My bigger issue is that if you set your machine to the wrong speed, it will literally grip your opal and fling it like you just saw. So we know instantaneously that this particular machine is at the wrong speed. And that's okay now, but in the summertime, it becometh a problem. I just know from the feel of things that it's getting much, much nicer. I'll just show you again and then we'll move on to the other opals. Zooming. Yeah, hopefully you can see. Oh, I haven't pushed the colour enhance button. Retouch on. There you go. You can see where it gripped. So I've got to get that bit off in the shiny bit there. You can also see generalised unshapeliness, which will slowly sort itself out as you continue to spin the opal, so long as you don't keep it static. But there you go, that's what it looks like as you start to turn it into something nice. Right, zing. Let's go to here. Let's see what else we've got shitting around here now. Here, universal opals. What did I call it this time around? One opal to rule them all, I think. And in the darkness bind them. What a mystic idea. I'm just turning off the tap here. Let me see. Over here it is. Bing. Still getting used to that. And also the new setup is that there is a valve here, which is a bit different to what I'm normally used to. I also realised I can move this over, which will help me out no end. So, what have we got here? Yeah. Sitting down. Yoink. There is my... I was refilling the bottles, and the problem is that in the process of refilling the bottles, I didn't actually get any further. I just ended up with the same problem and lost my spray and wipe. Here we go. Aha. There we go. That's that done. Thought you could stay messy forever, do you? No, I have spray bottle. Woohoo! Yoink. You'll notice that I'm no longer relying on the lights on the top of the fish tank, because fish tank lights, it's not that they're inefficient, it's, fish and, okay, I'm done. It's not that they're inefficient, it's that they eventually get occluded by dust and debris. It's actually much harder to have a functional light working in that environment. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you epileptic warning number 1. There we go. Perfect. The flashing lights attracted some and deterred others from the looks of things. Now, let's zoom it in a bit. Now, what have we got? Well, it might come as a shock and a surprise to you, but we have opal. Da, 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 da. I know, I surprise myself sometimes. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now, what have we got in the opal stakes? Well, we've got this bad boy, of course. This guy's looking good. I want to get him finished. Man, my hand looks terrible. Hang on. Not that bad. Okay. Still doing it. Hang on. There's a little bit on there that was kept on It keeps getting there. Hang on, moving it. You're right now? Yes. There is a little gash on there. That's okay. So there's this bit here. What I'll do is I'll slice that up, see if any of this stuff results in coolness, and then there will be rejoicing and the opposite of gnashing of teeth. So that'll be good. There are all these guys, which I am going to actually put away unless there's some specific reason to keep them, because I have a system. What I do is I take the opal that I've cut or was on the system here, and then I move it away because it'll just fall down onto the tray below, and then it becomes a little bit more disorganized. So don't like that. Don't like it. So we remove those, and then I put them into a holding pen of sorts, where they get reclassified and distributed into little containers. Look. Containers such as this one here, which I've got a whole heap of opals sitting in. So let's have a look at our contestants for today. Now, don't panic if we look like we're running out of opal. We've got plenty, I can guarantee you. But you can see these guys here. They are all designed to enlighten and entertain, and to amuse. There we go. Nice little piece of purple colour there. Here's a nice little piece of colour. Now, even if there is no colour, I guarantee you there is, because I sat in the sun for about an hour making sure that every single one of these opals had something good in them. There we go. See? Told ya. Now, this is a piece of crystal. I think it's a very light crystal from memory. So there's the colour. Not very much colour to it, but there's going to be some experiments I might be able to apply to that one. That's why I got it. Here we go. This one will have some kind of coloury thing. I think it's there. Yeah, there we go. Nice and colourful. Now, that's not necessarily going to cut, but it is colourful. So, you know, it'll be pretty as it destroys itself. This one here, no colour whatsoever, as far as I remember. But it's got a sandy layer just in there, and I just can't resist. I want to know what's there. So, gonna find out. Now, what's going on with you? What's up your bum? There we go. Better. Now, that might reveal something, that might not. Either way, it'll be fun. Grab a few more and then we'll get started. Some of these are actual rubs, and some of them are just rubs from an earlier era. Like, for example, this guy. I went and put it under the sunlight, and I do know for a fact that there is actually colour in there. So I'm just going to round that off and make it as coherent a shape as possible, bearing in mind there's a crack at the back. 10 metres from my back, and it's 5 miles from Gundagai. And no one will know that if it's an international audience, but oh well. So that one, I think it shone more in the sunlight, so I'm not going to labour this point too long. There's your colour right there. Nice bit of red. Now the thing about this, oh look at that, that's actually a shell. Can you see the stripes, the striations there? Just the cap of a shell. Maybe even a snail shell or a gastropod. A bit too far gone to worry about it though. So here we go. Here's classic lightning ridge behaviour. If you ever see a dark patch in the middle, yep. Now, Pulitzer Opal said that he's got some ice stones, I think he calls them. I don't know who came up with the concept first. I do know that definitely in the literature, some guy in 2008, I think, classified ice stones from Willow Opal in Ethiopia. So as far as intellectual property is concerned, he's got it. But whether these stones have it, they don't care if they get sued or not. So they have it basically because the potch darkens in the middle. So that's just an ordinary knobby with a way huge amount of sand. Way huge amount of sand. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. starting to go into the colours. Look at you pretty thing. That will take very small amounts of time to sort out, and it's pretty, so good. Don't know if you'll see this one. This one's got colour on it, but it's very difficult to spot. In sunlight, it's great. You can just see it sitting below the grey there. I'm not going to labour the point because the more I hang that stone around, it's going to be an albatross around our neck for viewership. Here we go. We've got another one. It's sort of just a small amount of flash on this side. Small amount of red flash. If you saw it, good. If you didn't, oh well, I'll try and make it happen again, but this stone's being stubborn. So I noticed there was a blue flash that occurred there. Wet it again, see what happens. No, just being difficult. Alright, let's not labour that point. If you don't want to be famous, little stone, you don't have to be. Because YouTube fame is what we all go for, isn't it? I'll give you good news, ladies and gentlemen. Since I got monetized, I've earned a massive, whopping, huge 40 cents. So take that. I'm capitalism now. That one will take seconds to make, which will be good. Nice and shiny. Pretty simple to turn into something good. Similar deal with this one, except it's not as shiny, so it'll make a very good low-grade opal. This one here. That's where our point of maximum shininess is. You can see just a few yellows and greens and blues sitting in there. Do not adjust your set. It is that crap in colour, really, so I'm hoping it gets better as you drill into it. This one here, you never know, I might be able to do a cherry blossom pattern with this, but we'll just see if we can. Oh, 5 likes. Thank you, whoever did that. This guy here is the edge of a shell, and I'm still tossing up whether to even include it or not because I don't like doing fossils. Having said that, it's got some nice colour if you saw some of that stuff shining through before, so great temptation that is. Oh, I'm putting it into the fossil rack. I know where it is, so I'll replace it with a witch's hat knobby. How about that? There we go. Instant substitute. From the bench comes a witch's hat knobby. Now this guy, don't know if it's going to perform or not, but I'm living in hope. This guy here, straight out purple. Fun. This guy here, straight out knobby hope, I think, is what you would call that. Right, a few more to just look through, or maybe we'll just get on with it, I don't know. Okay, here we go. I just enjoyed the opal experience and telling people about it. Look at my opals, everyone. Rolled up, opals are plenty. There we go. White, but there's, I think the green flashes on this side. Come on, don't make a liar of me. Not that it matters, I just noticed a massive longitudinal crack, so we'll see if that works. Yeah, you can see just a little bit of colour there, but there's issues there. This guy here, no such issues, I just need to shape it properly. You saw some glints of green. That'll be earning the green, this one. Oh yes, earning the green. You can also see a hint of an ice stone in the middle there. This is a Cooper Petey one, so all of them have them from time to time. This one's better than it looks, just so you know. You can just see some colour just sitting in there. How rude. Here I am trying to make a civilized opal stream, and this one looked better in the sunlight. I'll just I'm basically going to shape it. Not much to do there. This one here, that one's there because there's this bit of pink here, and I've got a sneaking that's all, folks. No, I've got a sneaking suspicion that this has got some colour in it, but we'll know pretty much the moment the blade hits the wheel, because the wheel makes a very interesting sound when it's got good opal underneath it. If I remember correctly, the coloured opal is just sitting in here. There it is. So nothing much to say about that opal other than it's, well, opal. I think we've got 2 more stones to go through, and then we'll go through the other ones later. So here we go. Nice little Cooperpedy stone. You can just see the colour on it. Bit of red, bit of green, bit of blue. Bada bing, bada bong, bada bing. This one will have a similar colour palette. Except you can't see. Oh, there we go. You can see the colour palette. Very good. Very good. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this one because he's colourful. And we're going to start the machine off with it. In I go. Da, 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 da. I'm just going to at least pretend I predicted something of this opal, and I'm going to say, as predicted, the opal didn't exactly turn out well. Didn't turn out horribly, but didn't turn out well. There was always a risk because this opal was a bit cracky at the start anyway. Oh, 6 likes, thank you. Whoever did that. There we go, finally got some genuine lovely colour. Goody goody gumdrops. Do not adjust your set. Yes, I did say goody goody gumdrops. Just imagining that appearing on the auto text. Definitely a chunk of shell. Oh well. So it didn't end up as being stellar opal like I was hoping for / predicting, but it's all right. See the cracking underneath there, and does it go through to the top? No, but there is a risk. So I'll just give it another few pushes, and if it's not going to improve by then, I'll do it off screen, so not to bore you with this kind of action forever. Nearly there. I'll help you out in a second. I've just got to do something. I'll be right back. Many apologies, guys. I have sorted out the daughter. Aren't I clever? Excellent. Right. This one is done. We'll move on. I know what you're thinking. I just don't shut up. I went a bit pensive. I went a bit thought mode. Normally I'm there saying, oh, it's an opal, it's got potch and it's, you know, being cut by a wheel. Very much like in the ike of sport commentary all around the world, I'd probably guess. I'm presuming that if you're from Europe, you'll be watching football. If you're from the UK, you'll be watching football and cricket. If you're from the United States, you'll be watching probably baseball. I don't know. Baseball and American football, gridiron, one of those things. If you're from South America, you'll be watching football, which is not gridiron. What I've noticed with all of these sports is that they have, how do I put this, inane commentary. First down. Now what we want to do is we want to get the ball from one end of the park to the other. That's right, Bob. You get that ball, you get extra points. That will mean the other team will be put under pressure. Well, great. What I think is that if you're going to go and watch a sport, there's a good chance that you've read the rules of the game before you started. Don't worry, in cricket it's exactly the same thing. You have some person who's got a slightly different accent to the Australian accent doing the commentary, because that's just what we do. A lot of the presenters have died in the last few years, so it's all changing over. But at any rate, they say something along the lines of,
yes, welcome to the game. What a wonderful game of cricket. Welcome to our American audiences who are clearly enjoying the game. It's occurred to me that you need to move the ball with sufficient velocity to get past the man with the piece of wood at the other end, such that he would potentially nick the ball, maybe miss the ball, maybe the ball crash into the three sticks at the back, or maybe nick into the hands of one of the people who is walking around on the field, thus making himself out. Performing that action 10 times will certainly catastrophically affect the game. So yeah, it's the same thing. The only difference you have is really in soccer, isn't it? Or football, the beautiful game as they call it. They go, oh, they're running up the other side of the field. They've done nothing again. Excellent, wonderful. This is great tension. They're playing total football now. They've passed it back to Furlow, who's passed it back to Frank, who's passed it back to Furlow again. I reckon at some stage they're going to plan to put it in the net over the other side. So I suppose we could do the same with opals, couldn't we? So, like something like, I don't know. Welcome to this evening's opal commentary. Today our contestant is a very unassuming looking piece of opal indeed. It's brown and grey all over. Not even a joke involving a zebra. This thing may or may not produce good colour. What do you think, Bob? Well, it looks like a pretty unremarkable piece of opal to me. Well, he's starting the first incision. Let's see what happens. Oh, he's getting resistance. Yeah, this is a critical time in the game. He needs to take control of that opal, or the opal will take control of him. I've just noticed that a like has appeared on the screen. Thank you very much for the person who actually liked the whatever rubbish I'm spouting. I don't know about you guys, but like as an Australian, I've heard Americans rip off Australian accents in movies and stuff. It can be torturous. So if you're in America and you're hearing, that's not what we sound like. I know. Sorry. Welcome to hell. Well, Steve, having a look on the inside of the opal, we've got ourselves a classical black potch mix. If we'd have started this, we'd have been able to complete that zebra joke, but nope, we didn't. We had to just stay with the grey. I think he's going to plan on bifurcating by thickness. That's right, William. I don't know how many people are in this commentary box. And he continues to cut. And he's done a smooth transition from one piece of opal to two. Is that going to give us any indication on whether the opal has become from unremarkable to remarkable? I don't think so, William. Seems that this opal is continuing to remain somewhat unremarkable. The clock is ticking. Well, yes, it always ticks because that's the nature of time, Steve.
Hello!
What are you doing in here?
I like the opal!
Didn't we lock the door?
Yes, but me eat the door!
Security, he ate the door again. So as the carpenters are reassessing the door and carting Cyril off to the mental health facility, we will now assess the look of the opal. And it's not looking good, Will. Will? Hi, I'm Will. So at the end of round 1, we'll have a look really close to the opal, and what we can see here is a large patch of nothing. And if you flip the opal around, you can see a huge amount of nothing on the left-hand side, followed by another piece of nothing on the right. This seems to indicate that there is nothing here. I think we're going back to whites. Oh yes, James. Those whites, they never fail you. That seems to be quite a halting voice you've got there. How many voices do you think you can do in one commentary box? I don't know. I seem to be doing at least one. That one that insults all the Americans. That's the one. And look at that shine. We've got ourselves a shiny situation. We'll zoom right in. We'll go straight to shine cam. Gonna have to write that down. Shine cam, shine cam, shine cam. Right, here we go. Yes, we got ourselves a shiny situation here, and it's long overdue. It is indeed long overdue. Who are you? I'm security. I got rid of Cyril.
Didn't get rid of me!
Security 2, we need a security detail over here to get rid of security and security 2 and Cyril.
Like to see them do that on television.
Okay. This is television. Zooming out again. Yoink. Thanks, son. Thank you once again for the liking and subscribing to this wonderful Opal channel. We'll be back after these messages. That was an SOS. Made by the Titanic, which has come forward in time. Maybe we'll be able to save them this time. No, we won't, Steve. Well, it seems like we're coming into magnum opal territory. And that magnum opal territory is where we get the opals of magnum. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't understood what I said by magnum opal, maybe I'll need to explain the rules. When the opal stream starts to run out of a bit of time, we need to make sure that the audience feels like they've got some kind of satisfaction. So in order to do that, we start hunting through the opal desperately, trying to find a beautiful opal. That's the one we call the magnum opal. It's a corruption of magnum opus, which is a corruption of another word, which I'm not going to be bothered saying because incredibly fatigued. End result, we'll be trying desperately to go through the remaining opals to try and find something that will bring us a nice stone. And then we can all go away saying, hurrah, we've gotten ourselves a nice stone. It goes around the corner with amazing precision. That's what we like to see, Bob. And just look at those clean lines. If that were a racetrack, about 1,000 Indy cars would have crashed on it. Yeah.
Cyril, can you get this?
Thank you.
Yes. All right, so here we go. I'm just looking through these opals to try and find the magnum opal. Bloody too dark. Hang on. So I got a visitation from one of the daughters. Now,
Bye.
so we've got this guy here. This one might produce some good results. This one here, I'm hopeful. We'll just quickly take the top and bottom off and see what it does. This is more here for curiosity's sake, so it might not work. So we'll just do a quick assessment, see what we see. And if it's no good, we'll just move on. Well, came out nice and clean, but don't think there's any colour in there, so that's a negatory. I'm just quickly moving the corners in just to see if there is actually something. But it's looking increasingly bleak, shall we say. That's right, Bob, it's looking increasingly bleak. Yeah, that's awful. Ever since the tooth surgery, I had wisdom teeth removed. I've had issues with my lip, and so things that I could ordinarily say quite easily start to elmify. Go away, Scully Wabbit. I'm hunting wabbits. You must be very, very quiet. Trying to find a lightning ridge stone, because those are the ones that most people go, ooh, it's lightning ridge. Okay, hopefully this one's good enough. If it's good enough, I'm just going to let it go. Oh, there's another one. Just sitting there in plain sight. And there's another one sitting there in plainer sight. That one's going to be good. Let's go. Admittedly, this one's a Cooper Beatty stone. So I'm just going to go straight through and see what it does. If it doesn't do anything good, out. Off with its head, and on goes the cauliflower. As my grandfather used to say. I have no idea what that means. I presume it's something to do with removing head and putting on cauliflower, but you know. Not a bad little stone, actually. It's a bit mild, that's the trouble. I'm going, do we want a magnum opal, a mild stone? I kind of go, yeah, sort of, want it. Going to cut that little piece right off, I think. Gonna cut that inclusion right out of the stone. I'm gonna cut. Whoop. Mexican jumping opal.
if you're going, what am I doing here? Suddenly an algorithm has recommended me to watch some guy cutting a rock in half. This is not where I expected my life to go. My answer to that is welcome to YouTube. I will go away from here and I'll watch someone cutting hoof off a hoof. And then next on my feed will be somebody going, ooh, that's a big pimple. I'm not sure what the internet does. I think it just surrealifies the world. Makes everything you do just a little bit more bizarre, a little bit more awkward, and a little bit more unexplainable. My question naturally is, has anyone actually had ads now? Because, like I said, I'm monetized now, and I'm wondering what's that going to look like? Because I made sure that you weren't going to be interrupted in the stream with the ads. So if you ever see one of my clips, hopefully you're never going to see a mid-roll clip. But there will be stuff at the beginning and the end. I thought that was a nice compromise. I'm a jumping opal, senor. We'll go do another one. That one might turn out well, but do this one first and hope. I will call this a not boulder opal, even though it is kind of a boulder opal. Basically, it's one of these stones that defies classification. I'm going to do a boulder opal. I may as well do a good one, so I'll abstain from that one. And yes, the logic that was going was this not looking like anything spectacular. I don't know why I'm sitting here cutting this when there's a whole heap of other things I could be cutting. Especially at magnum opal time. Oh, and thank you for the like, whoever did that. That was very kind of you. Another little inclusion, getting rid of that. You may as well cut them, slice them. There's several reasons. One of them is it doesn't produce as much dust as grinding it away to nothing. Always got to consider that. Although, look, I'm not saying that it's not causing you harm. The silicosis, asbestosis, and all those dust diseases came about at the same time as people realised that smoking was bad for you. I think it was just a bit of a smoke screen. I'm not saying it's not bad for you, but I think there were companies that had a vested interest in highlighting the hazards of other materials. Whether it was a convenient hazard or a non-hazard, I don't know. I'm not suggesting you not do any safety precautions, definitely not. But just be aware that we're being manipulated all the time, I suppose. Well, that wasn't as enlightening as I was hoping. It's going to be just a case of take skin off, have a look. I mean the opal skin, not mine. That'd be a bit weird. But the opal skin, sure. No holds barred. Da 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 da. Woo. Da 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 da. Ba 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 ba
Bum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, ba-da-da-da-dum.
There you go. Louis Armstrong played that one, apparently, according to me.
I see fields of green, red roses too. Maybe I should learn the words before I commence singing to you. And I think to myself, this is a noble stream. And I think to myself, this is a noble stream. Thank you very much.
Crap opal. Well, this is a great magnum opal section, isn't it? I spent so much time finding really good opals, and I haven't been able to get one out yet. Well, I've gotten ones prior to the... Yeah, you know what I mean. Got a lot for that. All right, I'll pay that. Thank you very much. There it is. Yay, we got colour. Yay. A tiny bit, but I don't care. Let's get it done. Woohoo! I got some colour. Woohoo! It's not my problem. Woohoo! Kind of patchy. Woohoo! Nothing. Ah! It's on the baby's mouth. Woohoo! No one knows what he said. Oh! And I'm lying amazing. Okay guys, it's a bit of a weak colour, but I'm taking it. There's a bit of pink on one side and there's a bit of green on the other, and we're going to wave our hands and go, yeah, well, if you put it in the sun, it might look good. I actually think it will look good, but, I mean, it's not terrible, just not my best, and not usually of the standard quality for Magnus Opal kind of material, so It's with a certain amount of disappointment that I declare this the magnum opal. But don't worry, we will be randomising all of the said opals at the end. Now, as a bit of a bonus for the people who've hung around, we're going to go and interact with some bird life. Turning off this, zooming out, so we can have a bit of a chatty whack. There we go.
Oh,
There we go. Tally ho, and all that. If you're looking at weird woodwork and stuff like that, you're right, it is weird, and it is woodwork. Whenever I see something that I want to do, I kind of do it. It's kind of fun. Looky! Here's a looky dokey. Here's a looky dokey. Here's a looky dokey. And that's what it's all about. You put your beak in, you take your beak out, you put your beak in, and you shake it all about. You do the looky dokey and you turn around. And that's what it's all about. Ba-dum-bum. There we go. Liking that, are you, Loki? Loving it? I'm loving it. Yeah, that's the other bird going nuts. As we in Australia refer to it, we say we are going knocking futs. I don't know what that means. I'm sure there's a secret code somewhere. I heard there was a secret code for people who had a potty mouth. Just jack it off because it's a bit too warm in here, isn't it, too young? Open the door, let Max out. He'll probably go and strut about, and then he'll try and attack the pony. Oh yeah. She's ready and raring to go. Scratch, 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 scratch. You will see the emergence of the cockatoo any minute now. The Loki cockatoos is a lazy version who does not like going outside of cages, but the Maximus Pontifex Annuus III loves to go outside. He feels his day is not complete unless he's outside. And now watch the mating call of the sulphur-crested cockatoo as he fails miserably with Loki. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't like it when Max clearly doesn't get what he wants. But having said that, we're in a house where consent matters, so we have to respect the wishes of Loki, don't we, Max? Yes, we do. And here is the Max cockatoo. If you'll watch very carefully, he'll strut on top of the cage and possibly eat Loki's sign. Hello. And with a loud call and a fluffing of the feathers, he shakes and puts his head to 45 degrees in that kind of cute way that almost all cute creatures do, as if thinking in 45 degrees is somehow easier. Are you thinking this is a pretty cool gig, getting scratched in the cage? Is that what you're thinking? Is that what you're thinking? Would that make you happy? Is that what you want? Would that make you happy? Here's Maxie. Oh, yes. This is a scratch and sneeze. He'll stick his claw straight into his nose and then have a bit of a sneezy boo. I think there's something stuck there. I'm going to fix it up for him in a little bit. Of course, I get it wrong. I lose a finger. Ain't that right, Maxie Bubba, huh?
There it is. Let me scratch that there for you. Never thought I'd be picking a cockatoo's nose. What does it come to? Ooh. Oh, 11 likes. Thank you very much who did that. All right, there's only one thing left to do, and that is over here. Oh, Pony, what have you done to your cage? Come here. She's on the attack. Here we go. Gotcha. And splat. Turn around. And there she is. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. I tell you, man, I swear on the grave of Abraham Lincoln's worst enemy that Pony did that. That's me being 100% thoroughly sort of honest about it. Pony is saying like and subscribe, and therefore we must do it. Isn't that right, Max? That's a no. You see, this at that kind of time we go, oh, well, Pony said like and subscribe. That's the time we finish up the stream. Oh, what a shame. But I do have work tomorrow, and I am ridiculously tired. That's why I'm attributing voices to a pigeon. All I have left to say is like and subscribe. That's not me, of course, that's Pony. Like and subscribe on the way out if you want to. You don't have to. But also, have a lovely evening, or have a lovely morning. Do we have morning and evening on Jupiter? What's that in dog years? Who knows? Anyway, Dr. Phil out. Ta-ta.